Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Friday, October 25th. I'm Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development. No stake on the Friday card, so we'll just take a look at the late pick 4, which starts in race 7 with 2-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs on the main track. Jim, tell me how you see this one.
This one's wide open. 2-year-old fillies, and I'm using 3 first-time starters. Actually, all first-time starters. I'm figuring that the horses that have already run have fired their best shot. I wasn't impressed with any of them, especially the 5 that's been out 8 times. So I went with all first-time starters here. One Step for Brad Cox, the 3. We the Clouds, the 7 for Timothy Ham, who's 16% first-time starters. Doesn't have a lot of horses, but he's at Keeneland, but he's a very accomplished trainer. Then Speedy Vanessa for Grand Motion, 11 for Grand Motion, Saida Al-Hura, and then Ron Moquette, the 12 Charmed One. Ron is 0 for 10 at the meet, and he always comes up with one, so I'm going to throw him in the mix too. But this one's a crapshoot. I mean, I think you could go all in here and just take a shot, because I was not impressed with any of them. The works are okay on a couple of horses, but I'm going to go 5 deep here and hope I get to the second leg.
Yeah, same thinking from me as well, because I went with all first-timers. I thought if I had to make a win pick, I'd lean to Speedy Vanessa. It's an Alex Campbell homebred, so it's the local connections that love to win at Keeneland, and American Pharaohs have been running pretty well. And I like the 6 furlong workout on October 14th for that horse. But the stablemate, Saida Al-Hura, One Step for Brad Cox, We the Clouds I've got on my list too, Charmed One, so really same ones that you're on. So going 5 deep in covering all those firsters in the first leg of the pick 4. Second leg is on the turf for 2-year-old fillies, going a mile and a 16th. Non-winners, a 2 lifetime allowance. I went to Love Beach, nice win in the debut, and then ran okay when put into a stakes race next time. And Julian Le Peru, who's really been hot in the second half of the meet, is riding this one for Mike Stidham. So off that nice run in the Salima Stakes at Laurel, I'm going to take Love Beach to win. Got Ginseng for Brad Cox, 4th in the P.G. Johnson at Saratoga. Secret Stash was 5th in a Grade 1. How Ironic ran decently in the Juvenile Turf Sprint at Kentucky Downs. Dominga, just the fact that horse won going long on the turf first time out for Cox, I'm going to throw in there just in case it could be something really special. And then the 13 for Mike Maker, I'm going to include as well if that one draws into the race. Sunset Promise beat the horse I've got on top, Love Beach, in the Salima last time, finished ahead of her. So got to include that one if she draws in. So I'm going deep in that leg too. How about you?
I wound up going with Secret Stash here for Mark Cassidy. I thought that Grade 1 race, she shipped over here from Ireland, wasn't that impressive as far as time form ratings are concerned, but they threw her right into a Grade 1. She got steadied at the first turn, and then came with a rush at the end, only got beat a length and a quarter. She did finish 5th out of 7, but it was a blanket finish. There were only 7 horses in that race. So I'm going to go with her in here, and I'm probably only going to use one other in the pick 4. That's Dominga, off that, what you talked about, the impressive maiden special weight win at Churchill. So she's done something that they're asking her to do again. She's been a mile and 16th. I think that bodes well for Brad in second starts. The other horses in here that you can consider are in good spirits, Ginseng, and of course, if 13 does draw in, I'm going to use Sunset Promise as well, because she did beat Love Beach, your choice, in that last race at Laurel. So tough little race, but I'm gonna try to only stick with 2 when I get to pick 4. Secret Stash and Dominga, the 7-8.
Couple of more allowance races left. The 9th is a non-winners of one other than on the main track for fillies and mares going 7 furlongs. Tell me how you see this one.
I could hit the all button here. I don't have a strong opinion here at all. I've got 5 deep in the pick 4. I would probably go with What a Fox here off the claim from Catalano. Robertino Diodoro is 27% first time off the claim, and this horse was claimed out of a $50,000 race here at Keeneland on October 6th, and they wanted to get another race on the track because she loved the track so well. She got a 75 buyer, won by 6 in a 50,000 claiming, and they're moving her up to an allowance race, trying to make hay while they can. Obviously, she does like the Keeneland track, and I'm gonna take a stand with What a Fox here at 8-1. It's a good price, but I'm also going to use Christophe Clement's second-time starter, Lifetime Memory, the 3. I'm going to throw in Urban Insight for Charlie the Presti simply because he tries to have a couple wins at Keeneland as well. So this one might be a surprise package. Gorgeous in Rags, the 9 for Brendan Walsh, who's had a really good Keeneland meet, and then the 11 Lady Kate for Eddie Keneally, coming out of the Ashland, where she wasn't really competitive, but she took some money at 8-1. So. She got a maiden win and a good second in the listed stakes at Tampa. So Lady Kate, the 11, is also going to be on my pick 4 ticket. But going to take a shot with 8-1 What a Fox here for Diodoro.
That's who I like as well a lot. I thought that was just an easiest kind of win. She was very impressive. Went back and watched the race again and doing the handicapping for this card. Won 2 in a row. So clearly, I think that effort 2 back at Churchill got people interested in the claim, and then Diodoro got her. And it's a high-priced claim. Good figures for this horse. Has run well on this track. Nothing scares me too much as far as the competition. And something else, has 3 wins in a race where almost all the rest of them have 1 win. She's won 3 times. So I like her a lot. Lady Kate certainly has. You look at that form, just 3 starts, but I mean, they threw her right into a stake off the maiden race, and then she ran in the Grade 1 Ashland. Been off since then, but if she's back to as good as they thought she was then she's a player. Lifetime Memory had a really nice debut win for Clement, who shipped a horse in, I think it was last week, on the turf and won here off a maiden win. So that's one you have to respect. Fun Finder had a nice race on September 1st with a 75 buyer. That could make her a contender in here, but it's really strong lean on What a Fox for me in this spot. 10th race is non-winners of 2 other than allowance, going 1 mile and an 1/8. I thought this was a well-matched group in here. Where did you land?
I thought I have a strong opinion here on 2 horses. I like the 2 morning line favorites, High Promise, the 7 from Brian Lynch, coming off of a really good 1 mile and an 1/8 at Churchill. That should have him ready for this 1 mile and an 1/8 over the Keeneland turf. High Promise is my pick in here, but I'm also going to use Credit Swap, the 1 horse, just because Michael Stidham, coming out of the Grade 3 Virginia Derby, only lost by half length after leading all the way around at 1 mile and an 1/8. And English B came back and won again. So that race came back strong as a key race, and so I'm going to use those 2 when we get to pick 4, with a slight win pick on High Promise and boxing those 2 in the exact at 1 and 7.
I like Appreciato on top, and then High Promise, and then I'm going to throw in Cairo Cat. Just that this was a really well-regarded 2-year-old and drops out of a graded stake and is bred to like turf. And if she would move up on he would move up on the turf, then could be a player in here. So let's go to the pick 4. Starts in race 7. What's your ticket look like?
All right, I got a $50 ticket. I'm going 5 deep in the first leg with 3, 7, 9, 11, 12. Taking a stand with 2 horses in the 8th race, 7, 8. Almost single the 7, but I went ahead and put the 8 in there. Then I'm going to go 5 deep again in the 9th race with 3, 4, 5, 9, 11. And then taking a stand with those 2 horses I talked about in the last race with the 1, 7. So 3, 7, 9, 11, 12 with 7, 8 with 3, 4, 5, 9, 11 with 1, 7 for $50.
My ticket is 45. I've got 3, 7, 9, 11, 12 in the first leg, 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 13 in the next leg. Singling What a Fox. I like her a lot. And then 3, 7, 9 in the last leg. So that's 5 by 6 by 1 by 3, $45 ticket for 50 cents. One more card to break down on these In the Money podcasts, and we'll do that for Saturday, featuring the Fayette to wrap up the Keeneland Fall Meet. We'll see you then on our next edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.